So this is giving me how to play cleric, healer cleric, which is, for as boring as it sounds, the only cleric. Um, and I'm gonna get into my actual stats. So let's get down to this. So for levels 3 through 6, I went with dexterity and wisdom, and I'm gonna get into why I did that. Uh, with dexterity, you have contributes to critical severity, movement speed, um, and then wisdom is control resist and outgoing healing. Outgoing healing is explanatory, so I'm not going to go over that. Control resist, yeah, control bonus, and then magical damage boost. Magical damage boost is also self-explanatory, especially the class. It's a casting class that uses spells and stuff. So the only thing I'm going to go over um, is critical severity right here. So, and before I go through that, I'm going to go through critical strike. So, increases the chance that you'll land a critical hit with an attack or with healing spells. So that's very important. Um, and then you go down here, and this works into it. Increases the damage dealt or healing done on a critical hit. So, the higher this rating is, or higher this percentage is, the more this will trigger. This does not need to be as high. All that matters is getting this to trigger, so this triggers more often, right? This makes this happen. And the more you can get this to happen, the more this happens, right? This is the important part. Um, and then, okay, now that I explained that, well, okay, let me explain that as well, is that even as a healer, you want to do damage, because doing damage is like you generate something called action points, right? And action points are important for these daily or delay, uh, where you need action points to use these, right? These are the things that do like multiple things at once, and these are the most important. Um, sanctify a circle around you, which reduces the damage taken by allies within, you know, by 10%. Duration 18 seconds, heals over time. That's what you want to look at. Um, and the heal over time is 18 seconds as well. So, and then the other one is deal fire damage to enemies at the target location, and it's also damage over time. Um, to get these to build up, you want some of these. This helps with ad clear, but what you really want is this, right? This uses up your divinity bar on the left, that banana shaped bar. What doesn't use it up is this. See, divinity cost, no divinity cost. Range of 80, cooldown of 20, 20 minutes, 1 second, right? So this helps with ads, and deal radiant damage to a target, increases target's damage dealt by 5. So that helps with big bosses as well, and it stacks. So this is good for like if you really need it, but this is important, and this is also important, right? This divinity cost 100, divinity cost 100. This is good because you really want to use your divinity cost for healing, right? So really the most important things you have for encounter is Bastion of Health and Geas. And your at will, which is like your guns, is Sacred Flame and Scattering Light, both 8 seconds. These do not matter because you have these, right? And the more you start cycling between these in an efficient way, the ones you have selected, the less you need this, right? And then we're going to go down here. I already went over this. Hollow Ground and Flame Strike. Hollow Ground is really good because it makes you take less damage and it heals over time. This can also heal a teammate, but this does more. This does way more than this. And its magnitude, right? These aren't as powerful as these, and these aren't as powerful as these, right? But these are like your super abilities. These can only work like once you have a bar that's filled up. That a glowing crystal in the middle of my screen is the only way you can use those, right? And I'm going to use them right now. There you go. Let's see, what do we have next? Next we have these. This is a mechanic, and mechanics, this is dodge, which you want to keep, which is like that, right? That is something you want to always keep, is to dodge, because of the way you should be having your ability points allocated for cleric, you will not be fast. You are not meant to be a fast class. You're meant to stand and take damage and heal. That's why you have these for yourself. And then you're at will at the top, right? Now if you notice, that bar went down, right? You can bring it back by doing this. But as you can tell, if you're in the middle of combat, that doesn't really help you because you can take damage and your health is going down, right? So we're going to go on ways to negate that. Whenever you channel Divinity, you receive healing over time, which is good. So you can do that and regenerate your health using flasks. This is also good hallowed armor. Currently active, no action required. So this works on its own as long as you have it activated. Less damage when you are under the effect of Channel Divinity. So these two work together, right? But when you start unlocking feats, then things start opening up, right? So with feats, you get encounter powers, which cost Divinity now grant 3 stacks of Empowered, Soothe, and there's all this other stuff. So what is Soothe? Soothe is this. You receive healing over time. So this helps with this. But this also adds on to other stuff as well. So healing over time, whenever you use Soothe, is doubled. So whatever healing over your time you get, this makes it better. Same with this. Increased Divinity regeneration rate. Every 3 seconds, the effect will stack up to 4. The effect is reset whenever an action consumes Divinity. Okay, so that is just plain helpful. And if you're wondering what takes Divinity, it's not really named well. Divinity is these. This is Divinity, right? This does not take Divinity. These do. These take, these are like when a certain condition is met, and this is whenever you want, and this is something that makes you vulnerable to attack. Towering Light increases the damage dealt by 10%. The effect decreases as your remaining divinity decreases, right? So it's diminishing, but like this or this is very powerful. This does not use divinity. It says up there. So it's just for your next feats, when you get to like between 18 and 20, Anointed Armor is now less, okay, not really important. After using Guardian of Faith, so there are things that I haven't unlocked yet, right? So let's go over here. Extends the cast time of Channel Divinity to 3. Holding Channel... Okay, so this, when you start getting between 18 and 20, you should have a better idea of what you want to pick, right? It's really up to you. One thing I do want to show is like where I put my other stats for 12 through 14, which is intellect and wisdom, outgoing healing, and magical damage boost. No need to even say anything about that. So to end on this video, I'm going to go to gear, and there's some gear. There's only one kind of gear I'm going to point out, and it's these. So these have no level requirement and no class requirement, right? And the item level is 1,000. That's important for running dungeons, right? You want a high item level. I think World of Warcraft has something like this. So there's critical severity we talked about, and combat advantage is important as well. Combat advantage is how much damage you do with just with magical damage and physical damage. So that helps if you're not able to build into damage, and you're like a mainly a healer. It still allows you to do damage. And now you have rings as well. Like, so where do I get these rings, right? Well, where you get them from is here. And these are cost details. Adventure seals. Market Victory exchanged at the Adventure Seal Trader and Protector's Enclave, or other places. There are other places that also you can trade things for. And you get these by doing missions. You get these by doing mainly story missions, events. So you can keep getting these. So what is important depends on the kind of build you're going for. Now there's stuff here that has Cleric and Paladin. It has feat and class requirements, but the item level is very low, right? Now let's go down here. There's no class requirement, and the item level is higher. And there's also no level. So right here, I believe there's a level. There is no level. Which you might think, okay, it's fine, right? But you see the item level is low, right? And at the point I'm at right now, I'm already at 800 for item level, at level 15. So eventually these are going to be outclassed by whatever you pick up by just doing missions. So what you're going to want to do is future-proof, right? So I'm going for, critical severity, combat advantage, combined rating is whatever, right? So I try to pick what I have, what builds into what I want. Same thing with the rings, right? And as you can see, I can get more stuff, but there's really no reason for me to. Yeah, there's really no reason for me to get any of this stuff, right? Um, I would wait until you are higher item level, until you're the highest item level you can be. Unless you're gonna get this stuff, in which case, why not? Um, it may not have the exact stats you want, but it keeps you from having to change your armor out, right? And whatever armor you do get from doing missions, you will be able to sell that or refine it, turn it into other resources. Um, so that is that is how you play cleric, healer cleric. Um, there's nothing really else I want to say besides this video will be on Twitter, where I post all my other stuff. Well, I post all my videos go on Twitter. All right. Well, thank you for watching and have a good day.